Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Have a Chat. So pleased you could join us today. I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loche, joined by my beautiful and lively co host, Audrey Lynch. Hello, Audrey.
Good afternoon, Judy. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm really excited because I'm kind of gearing up towards Mother's Day. And I asked if you might have a
hmm
thought, a quote, something to do with Mother's Day to share with everybody.
I do. I do. Actually, I've been reading quite a few things. I love looking up on Facebook. I have a couple of positive pages that I follow. So
Hmm.
I got scanning through them knowing it was my turn. And I came across this
Nice.
one. And here it goes. Being a mother is learning about strengths you didn't know you even had and dealing with the fears you didn't even know existed.
True. Very true.
Very true.
Hmm.
And that was written by Linda Wooten. And it is going back and thinking back. I'm a mother of four children, and the
Yeah.
youngest being 17 and the oldest being 27 right now. And I think back to when they're little, and this saying really hits home for me because
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're first starting out, it just seems like all dreams and fantasy of what you think and what you imagine it's going to be.
Hmm.
But it truly is about learning about the strengths you had no idea that you had, right? And
It's
dealing
true.
with the
It
fears
no,
that you didn't even know existed. And it's so true.
it's so bang on. I love it. We've lived it as parents. I have a son that's 29 and a son that's 22 as well. And they're my whole world. My husband, my whole world. And like I said, you worry about them. You love the things that bring you so much joy on a daily basis. But you worry for every fear that they have. You fear for them yourself because you just
Mm.
want it to be okay. And you walk it. You walk it through with them. And so, but I have so many beautiful memories of my mother, and I still am so tremendously blessed to have my mom in my life, as many people do not, and that makes me really sad. But my mother's a
Mm-hmm.
gracious lady. She's a lady. She's very intelligent, and she's very extremely kind, and always has the right thing to say. If it's compassion you need, she's there. If it's a little disciplinary measure that she has to say, okay, I wish that someone would do this or help you, then she gives you that good advice. She's a sounding board. She's my very, very special friend. I love her to bits, and I know you feel the same way about your mother. Do you have anything that you recall as a very special memory, just a little one from your childhood days, maybe that involves you and your mom?
Well, for me, when I remember back, because my mom, I'm the oldest of four children, and I feel like I followed in my mom's footsteps. And she was a stay-at-home mom for about 10 years, and then she left home to start working as well, because financial reasons, of course. But what I remember the most of when I was a little girl would be when my mom was either getting ready for work or if she was getting ready to go out, dad was taking her out for the evening, was in the bathroom,
Mm.
and I would sit on the toilet and I would just look up and watch her getting ready, doing her hair, putting on her
Ah,
makeup. I remember walking around the house in her shoes that didn't fit me, but they had the high heels. So those are
oh.
fond memories for me, looking up to my mom and wanting to be able to be like her.
And you are like her in so many ways with your fashion and you're sexy like your mama was and all of those nice things. And again, my mother, I'm the oldest of four children, and my
hmm
mom was an English teacher. She taught all of her career, and the thing I remember mostly about my mom growing up was that for everything that she had going on in her plate, teaching, scheduling,
hmm
raising four children, that she, no matter what was going on, her house was always kept nice, her meals were always great. She always put the four children ahead of anything, like my dad, of course, and her together. But she always put us first.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It was never about my mother doing this, or I have to go to theater, or I have to go out to a movie with my friends, or have to have people in. It was always the children. And then whatever the children were, once we were taken care of, then she would take care of something that might be nice for herself. But it was definitely us before her, and that's one of her finest qualities is her giving unselfish. She's so unselfish, and I love that. And,
Yes.
I just feel privileged every day in being a mother. I have to say that it's not for everybody being a
Mm-hmm.
mom. It really isn't. I have friends that choose not
No.
to be, but you're a mom. So what are some of your greatest joys of being a mother?
I would have to say seeing my children now as they're getting older, um,
Hmm.
what makes my heart just feel so much joy for being their mom is when I see them learning the lessons that I feel like I've been teaching them over the years of being kind
Right.
and being nice
Yes.
to each other and giving a helping
Yeah.
hand and being able to stand on their own 2 feet and starting to
Hmm.
have the confidence that that I've been telling them that they had all along. Like those kinds of things
Yeah.
really, I've had periodically people message me when my children have been out in the workforce now, and they message me to say, I just have to tell you, your daughter, or I just saw your son, and
Ah,
what a wonderful, kind, loving person they were, and what a
yeah.
great employee that they were. And that they are, and it just fills my heart with so much joy to know that I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
I know you're doing a great, and you have done a great job, and that makes me proud to say that. I know that I've seen your children grow and what they're like, and hear the same things. And about my own too, it's the biggest compliment to hear your son, smiled at me and held the door for me today and said, "Oh, how are you
Hmm.
today?" They said, like, what? Not many young people at that age do that anymore. And I said, well, we tried to bring them up the best we could, and I'm really proud. But it's also, for anyone that's looking out, at being a mother, and father, as parents watching this show someday, and you haven't
Mm,
reached that stage yet. I think it's the joys of the every first. So it's the first step, the first,
mm,
the first birthday, the first time, they go to school, the all of those when you look back on life and you see that your kids are getting older, and it's when they get their driver's license at 16, it's another
yeah.
successful thing, and they graduate, and then they meet that special girl or guy, and so it's all those celebratory things, and then seeing them through you. So you see, when you're looking at your children, you're seeing a lot of them in you. Like, it's now I know why they're saucy because I'm saucy. Now I know why they're stubborn because their father's stubborn. Or I
Exactly.
see how
Yes.
much Evan looks like his father in so many ways, who's the man I fell in love with and married. So it brings me joy when I look at my sons to see that maybe my father's looks in one of my sons, or their grandfather's
Hmm.
mannerisms, whatever it may be. You're living on through your children, right? And they're bringing in a whole way something from every walk of the family. My brothers, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, your son Evan reminds me of Bruce, your brother," and that's a really big bonus because Bruce is a phenomenal guy. Yeah, it's all that, and
Yeah.
then the hardships that go along with being a mother, the worrying, and all of the things that
No
aren't
worry. The
celebratory
parenting.
are those. Yeah, the parenting, the sad days, the cry days, the "oh, I didn't make the team" days,
Yeah.
the "oh, I got cut" days, the "oh, come
Broken
get me at the
hearted
rink, mom,
days.
I'm hurt" day, broken hearted days. There's so
Hearted.
much. Life's just it's a circle. It really is.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I love being a mom, and I want to take this opportunity, along with everybody else, to say Happy Mother's Day, and to you, Audrey, of course, this coming Sunday. Now, I asked
Yes.
you
To
if you
you
do me
too,
a
Judy.
favor because, well, there's not
Hmm.
a whole lot. Like, I'm trying to avoid the news. There's not a whole lot going on in the community. So I said, let's just talk about a few little fun things to brighten people's day up. And I said, maybe bring to the show some fun facts, just anything that might enlighten us today. Did you find something for me at all?
Yes, actually, I did. I went to our lovely resource, Google, just looking for some
Okay.
interesting things out there that may be fun facts that you don't know. And I did come up with a few that I wanted to share with our viewers and with you, Judy. So,
All
and
right.
the first one, I just want to say, please don't try this at home. Because my first one is in 2011, believe it or not, someone was able to find out and uh, experimented and put grapes in a microwave, and it turns out they will catch on fire. Grapes
Oh,
light on fire when you put them in the microwave.
I'm going
So
to do
don't try
that.
that one at home. No,
I
I'm
have to
afraid.
now.
I'm afraid I'm going to be held accountable. But that is one.
No, no,
Um,
no.
did you
Right.
know? Did you know there's 8 million possible 7-digit phone numbers per area code? 8
No.
million different combinations. Okay. In
Crazy.
2014, McDonald's restaurant created the very first bubblegum flavored broccoli.
Oh, bleh. Okay,
I
that's gross.
know. I know.
Oh, I don't
I
even.
know. It wasn't
I'm
a big hit. No, it
no.
wasn't a big hit. Okay. So the average mammal takes 21 seconds to empty their bladder. Ew. Sorry. Had to
Oh,
share that one.
say it
Just so you
again. Say
know.
it one more time.
Yep.
Yeah.
The average mammal,
Oh,
human, or
yep.
takes
Yep.
21 seconds to empty their bladder.
Okay.
21 seconds.
Interesting.
Okay. Okay. In Singapore, did you know that chewing gum is actually banned? It's against the law. They were trying,
No, but
actually, yep, they were, yeah,
oh,
yeah, they were trying
but
to stop pollution and unclean. And I guess most people chew gum and spit it out. So anyway,
they
they
do.
did revise that
And
to include dental health now. So there is exceptions to that rule.
I remember being in Japan, and I don't believe there was
Hmm.
a gum chewing allowed. It's just a
Yeah,
bad habit. You see it in
it was just
restaurants,
a,
stuck under tables and everything else.
yes,
That's a good.
no,
That's good. I like that
yes,
rule. Those are interesting fun facts. I should bring some the next time we're on the show, and try put
yeah,
everyone's little thinking caps and information on. Yeah. So
definitely,
Audrey, speaking of
definitely.
this, that, and everything, people are complaining
Hmm.
about those little creatures this time of the year, the ants, the ladybugs, and they're
Insects,
no fun,
it's that
right?
time of year. Mm-mm,
It's a,
mm-mm.
and I mean,
Ants.
I really haven't seen many, but I have seen a few little ladybugs. Now they don't bother me.
Okay,
In some places, they're considered a sign of
okay.
good luck, actually.
Right,
And I think it's
right.
in France. If a ladybug in France, if a ladybug lands on your arm, it's a sign of good things to come. Believe it or not. And if you kill that
Okay.
ladybug, if it lands in your
Ew,
arm, yes, then it means a bad luck, a
ew.
bad omen. But I don't know if I believe that.
Okay,
But I do know one really easy, really quick solution for getting rid of ladybugs is to fill a spray bottle with white
okay,
vinegar. And you just go to where you might see a little cluster of them in your home. It could be just one area of a
okay,
window. It could be a few places in your home that they're getting into. And you just spray the area all around there. It will kill them pretty much instantly. And it will also get rid of the pheromones because these ladybugs emit pheromones that draw other ladybugs. And that once you get rid of that, then there won't be any more coming
okay.
around. And I did see a few last week just because there was a little tiny opening around the back door. And I thought, I wonder if this is going to work. And it did. So white vinegar in
Oh,
a
you're
spray
kidding.
bottle.
Okay,
The other thing I read about was, and I don't use them because I have dogs, but bay leaves. The bay leaves that you wouldn't eat, but that go into spaghetti
okay,
sauce. If you have some, say, up
okay.
in a higher area, and you can put them above a curtain where
Hmm.
nobody can touch them, any animal, then that would be a safe
Right.
way too. But the white vinegar is that really easy solution. And ants, I don't get ants. Do you get ants?
No. Now, yeah, I find even at my place of business. Now there's a number of different, I didn't realize ladybugs actually, unless I've seen a few here and there and I never thought of getting rid of them. But if I was having like an infestation of them, maybe I would take action, definitely. But ants,
Yeah.
you never just see one or two. When you see an ant, that means there's an infestation somewhere. And I get these teeny tiny ones. They're either the tiniest thing or they're that big
Mm.
I
Ooh,
nasty
mother ant.
name for those ones I have. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
and it's crazy. But last year I was like, enough is enough. I was buying different products. I was sprinkling powder. I was spraying solution. I was going around the outside of my house with traps. And I said, enough is enough.
Ah.
And I Googled it and came up with a
Yeah.
home recipe. And I was willing to try it. It took me a while
Oh.
to find it, but you know the product
Okay.
borax, like
Yeah.
it's a laundry soap if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
they were all sold out all over the place, but I did finally get some. And you mix a cup of I took a great big bowl and I mixed 1 cup of borax to 3 cups of sugar, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I mixed that all
Hmm.
together. And then I took a little plastic container, like a sour cream dish, and I poked holes
Right.
halfway up all the way around the side. So you put 2 or 3 scoops of that,
Okay.
the sugar borax mixture, add some warm water to
Hmm.
it for it to dissolve, and then leave these little containers around your house. and the ants go to
Okay.
it because it's a sweet product, but it's full of laundry soap
Perfect.
too. But they take it back
Right.
to the nest and they kill all the ants at the nest. So then they don't come
I'm
out.
sure people are going to
And
love you. They're going
I
to love you for this.
couldn't get over. Yeah, I couldn't get over how well it worked. I saw
Good.
and yeah, I saw one ant there yesterday and I went to the cupboard and I got my little mixture and I said, I'm not waiting
Right?
this time for them to just totally take over my kitchen. I just,
No.
no, I can't
No.
handle it.
And
Ants for me are the
I know
worst.
people, and people do have them. And I mean, I always heard the very simple solution of cinnamon. So if they were getting in around your front doorstep, a little crack in your
Mm,
grout or whatever, near
mm-hmm.
your front door, back door, whatever,
Okay.
or anywhere, just to put some cinnamon sprinkled around, they hate it. But I
Oh, is it?
love your
Oh,
solution
really?
because
Okay.
it's long. Your
Right.
solution's long
Okay.
term. Before we
Yeah.
go to break and then welcome back our first guest, Audrey, just any new
Yeah.
news on the bubble? I haven't been following it,
Yeah.
recently. I just know
Yeah.
numbers have been really soaring in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
That's frightening to me.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, we've been having still an outbreak for us here in New Brunswick in Zone 4, but in Nova Scotia has taken a little bit of a turn for the worse. So all four premiers got
Mm,
together last week, and they've decided to delay the opening indefinitely of the Atlantic bubble
yeah.
due to the recent outbreaks and the variant concerns. So they remain optimistic that travel within the Atlantic Canada will resume by the summer when
Okay.
they believe most residents will have been vaccinated by then. So for right now,
Yes.
no more dates. The Atlantic bubble is now off the table until they can
Hmm.
get a handle on this and that they can
Yeah.
get our citizens vaccinated. So our hopes and prayers
Yeah.
are with the
Yes.
the friends and families of those affected.
Right. And that I miss my son terribly, and that I haven't seen him in almost 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one, where most of us are in that
No.
boat of missing our loved ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to
Yeah.
the day and I'm thanking God for the beauty of technology and that we can Skype and FaceTime. It's really
Yeah.
wonderful. It's a curse, but like I said, it's also
Definitely.
a blessing that you can sit and look at each other like we're doing right now. So I just wish everyone well. Please stay safe, people. These variants are terrifying. They're not a joke. They're there. The needles, COVID vaccines are on the way, and we just want everyone to practice safety. We are going to be coming up right after our break with some very special guests. We don't want you to go far because Audrey and I are going to be bringing you back with more Have a Chat. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us, again, I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loche, joined by my beautiful co-host, Audrey Lynch. And we have our first guest to join us now, and that is the lovely Julia Trevors. Welcome to our show, Julia.
Welcome.
Thanks for
And
joining us
for those
today,
who,
Julia.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
yeah, very nice to have you. And for those who do not know anything about you, Julia, you are the owner of Barty Bogue Soaps. And just that word soaps makes me excited. It's one of my very favorite things. But before we get into the soap, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Bertie Bogue, originally from Douglasfield, and I went to James M. Hill, and I have 3 beautiful grandchildren, and I'm married to Fred Siddle, and we have a great life.
That's good. What more would you
Living the
Yeah,
want?
dream.
living the dream.
Living the dream. Audrey, do you love soaps also?
I do actually. I found not so much when I was younger, but now I find with maturing skin, I'll say I'm a little more sensitive, so I'm a little more picky, and I do my research and try and find out exactly what works for my skin type. So we're going to get you, Julia, to tell us all about how did you come up with your idea for making soaps?
Well, years ago, my daughter and I used to go on vacation, and when we went to PEI or we go to Nova Scotia or even Ontario, we'd always want to go to the soaperies because we just learned to love, you know, all the different fragrances and essential oils and all that stuff. And a few years back, I have a friend that she was over one night and I had all kinds of stuff to make soap. And she said to me, "Well, let's make soap. I know how." So that's what we did. We made soap, and she always says to me, "Well, I taught you to make soap, but you just took off from there." And I never looked back. It was sort of like, I don't know, like an obsession almost. And I learned so much over the years. Yeah,
Yes, and you're a very creative person. I know you like art, if I remember. Do you not like art
I
also, or
do.
craft? Craft
I
doing, yeah.
do.
So,
Yes.
so
I like to
the
paint.
thought of, yes, painting, that's it. I remember you, loving to do that when I talked to you a few times in the past. With regard to the soap making itself, it sounds so lovely and it sounds almost like it wouldn't be that difficult, but I'm not a soap maker and a lot of the viewers aren't. So tell us about the process.
Okay, the process in making soap is a combination of oils and butters and additives, and you saponify them together to make
Mhm.
whatever. There's so many different ways you can make soap. So whatever you like to have, that's what I learned to do. Yeah.
But did you learn it through like Googling it and then, or did you have her demonstrate and then you had to research like the process itself? Is it
Well,
hands-on
w-
kind of?
through the years, I experimented with a lot of essential oils, and
Mhm.
yeah, it just from practice. And years ago, I started making soap, and I used a lot of different oils, but I wanted to make the best soap.
Right.
So I feel that now we have the best soap, the best recipe you could get, and we have all kinds of different soaps to complement
Mm-hmm.
anybody. Yeah.
Mm, there.
So just a
Thank
little
you.
quick question to that one there that you said, Judy. What about when you're making soap? I'm oblivious to making soap, obviously. Is there cooking involved, or is it just mixing, or is that a silly question?
Oh no, there's different ways to make soap, and there's a
Okay.
cold process and a hot process, and we
Mm.
just we could do anything we want. Yeah, there's hot
It's
process,
your
cold
secret.
process. Yeah, you can't tell too many secrets, but anyways,
That's
there's a lot of
right.
there's a lot of different ways to make soap. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So tell us about the different various products that you make and you sell. I believe you make for women and for men. Is it just soap, or are there other products that you sell?
Yes, I have. Would you like me to show you some of the products
Would
now,
love
or?
that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Would
definitely.
love it.
Okay. Well, I have brought today
Mm.
4 soaps. These are men's soaps. I'll show them
Mm.
off here. This is
Okay.
Oh,
called
they're attractive.
yeah, this is red cedar wood for men. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Mm.
Sorry. Um, red cedar wood for men, and it has turmeric
Mm-hmm.
in it, and it has shea butter and olive oil, and it's beautiful.
Mm.
And
It looks
now we
beautiful.
have this. Yeah, and this is another men's. It's Earth and Water. It's called, and
Ooh.
we sell a lot of men's soaps, and we
Mm-hmm.
have one bar here, and it's called Oceanus, and it's beautiful.
Gosh.
Yeah,
And they're
Yeah.
attractive,
and
very attractive. Mm.
yeah, and this one isn't wrapped, but I brought it. It's very attractive, and it's popular. It's called Black Rock, and it's for
Very
Black
men,
Rock.
attractive.
and
This
yeah,
it has
it's
charcoal in it, does it?
activated charcoal, and it has
Mm-hmm.
shea butter and cocoa butter that we get from Africa, and it's unrefined, and it's
Mm.
very, very good for the skin. Very good. Yeah,
My
so
gosh,
that's
they're
a little.
attractive. I love
Well,
soap so
thanks.
much. Like I can't even begin to tell you how much I love soap. I love
Wonderful.
it.
That's how I feel, Judy. I just
Yes.
You
can't get enough of making soap.
you must have,
So
Julia, you must have did a bunch of different like education wise to study the different ingredients for like whether it's aging skin, male skin, acne
Yes,
prone skin? Like, I'm assuming
that's right.
you had to do a lot of research there.
Well, Audrey, I'm a cosmetologist by trade. So
There
I've
you
worked
go.
over the years with a lot of different things. Yes, a lot of different. And so
Mm.
I'll just show you a little bit of a few of the lady soaps that we have. Now this one
Mm-hmm.
here is
Oh.
hibiscus, and it is
Mm.
absolutely, it's beautiful. And
Look.
this one is what we call mystic pear, and it's
Okay.
beautiful.
Oh.
It has what you call 24 karat gold in it. It's just beautiful. We use colors that are from the earth. They're called micas.
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful. And then we made this
Mystic
fun one, and
pear. Okay.
it's beautiful. And this one
Mm.
is fun. It has a nice smiley face, and it's citrus. So that's
Lovely.
for wake me up. And
Yes,
then
and some.
Energize.
yes, energize you in the morning. And this here one is cucumber and mint. Same thing. It
Oh,
has cocoa butter, shea butter. It's beautiful. Yep.
I love
And then
I'm
we have,
cucumber
noticing
smell.
that
Mm.
I'm noticing how large your soaps are. So how long
Yep.
they
would a bar of soap that size last?
quite a long time. And we have like this one here is a kind of a Mother's Day one. And it's
Mm-hmm.
rose and French vanilla. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
this is more of an artisan soap because some of them we make, with a nice top on it, and it'll last a long
Mm-hmm.
time, a long time. And
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
this was one of the Easter ones we had. It was beautiful. We like that very much.
Mm.
And then we
They're
have a
beautifully
basil.
done up.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. This is a basil and lime.
Oh.
And we have lots of bath bombs. You know, there we go. This is
So do
lavender
you,
and mint.
yeah. So there's soaps, bath
Lavender.
bombs.
Yes, and we have foot scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
This
Oh,
is a foot scrub.
nice.
Peppermint. Yeah.
Oh,
And
Julia,
then,
all kinds of stuff.
yes, and we have bubbling bath salts. This is a sea salt and sage.
Mm.
So, and then we have sugar scrubs. This is a coffee bean.
Sugars. Oh,
So
gosh.
where is it that you're set up? Are you set up in your home, in your basement, putting
Mm.
all your recipes together, or have you had to move to a bigger location?
Yes, we're in what they call the Little Red Barn, and it's just across from my house in Bertie Bogue on the same property.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
we opened up in there on the 14th of November of last year, and we've been busy ever since. Yeah.
You are. You're straight out. Which did you have more products to show us or anything to talk about before we move on to another question?
Well, I just want to let everybody know that we do custom orders and stuff. And like you can get boxes of
Oh,
bath bombs, and we have bubble bars as well. They're very, very popular. I'll show you one of
bubble
Bubble
those.
bars.
bar.
This is a bubble bar,
Hmm.
and you just hold it
And
under
what?
the faucet, and it's beautiful.
So when you're showering, bathing, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can it kind of disintegrates with the water over you.
That's right. You can use it in the shower, or you can hold it underneath the faucet, and you probably get 5 or 6 times out of this here. Hmm.
That's amazing. Julia,
Yeah.
I'm
So
looking at you. Think, okay, go ahead. You can, yes, bring us more. Whatever you have to show us,
I
bring
just,
it on.
yeah, these are just a little smaller. This is a black raspberry and patchouli, and this one's maple cream.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh,
And then we sold a lot of soap for kids, children,
oh,
and
cool.
we
Okay.
have,
Yes.
yeah, a little bus and a truck, and we have a tractor, and
Gee,
we even have sorry about that. We have these little remotes for all the
Oh my
gamers.
goodness, a gamer.
that's
Yeah,
That
it's
is
really cute.
crazy.
one big piece of soap.
The children really
Oh
love that.
my,
And there's one
creative.
other thing, maybe two other things. We sell body butter, and it's sweet coconut, and we have
Body
different.
butter.
And of course, it has shea butter, cocoa butter, jojoba. all kinds of good oils, and that's very popular. A- And then we have our whip soap, and
Wow.
Whipped
this one's
soap.
called Relax on the Miramichi,
Not
and we have all
beautiful.
Of
kinds.
course.
And for your birthday, you could buy somebody's birthday. You can buy Happy Birthday whip soap.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice
Okay, I'll
nice
keep that
gifts.
in mind.
Yeah,
You have so
and
many
I think
products that I never dreamed about. I didn't even know because you're a fairly new business, are you not?
we are. We just opened the 14th of November. Yeah, and we
How's it
have
been
these
with the
little.
pandemic?
It's been fantastic. We were really surprised. Like we've been straight out since, like I said, since November, and we worked hard the last few months. Yes.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
Are
can
you
certainly see
online?
that.
Pardon me?
Are you selling a lot of products online?
Yes. Well, we have custom orders in the
Mm-hmm.
works, and we will be getting online. You can go to Bertie Bogue River Soaps and order off of there. Yeah, contact
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mhm.
message me.
You might
Yeah.
want to give that right now because Mother's Day is just around the corner and we're going to ask you some more questions. But we would like to know the Little Red Barn is on Route 11 then, and it's visible from the highway, obviously right on the side. And do you have email, phone number, all of that stuff? You can let people know because they might just want to pop up there, and get something lined up for themselves or their mother or their mother-in-law or anybody.
Oh, we'd love to see everybody, and it's 825 Route 11, Bertie Bogue Bridge, and my phone
Hmm.
number is 625-0205.
Okay. Bertie Bogue River
Now,
Soaps.
yeah. Do you have a
Yep.
Facebook page, Julia, or Instagram?
Yes, it's under Bertie Bogue River Soaps.
It is okay. It seems to
Yeah.
be that's where most of people are looking to do their window shopping, at least to start there and see. And I'm assuming you have pictures of all the different items that you have for sale there.
Yes, I do. Oh, yes.
I was
Julia,
wondering a little bit
um,
about
oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
just wondering a little bit about. I just going back to that. I noticed how large the soaps are, and some of your products come in containers. But my question is, for when I open one of those large soaps, is there something I should do in particular to keep it from dissolving on me until the next time? Should I take it out of the shower? Should I put it in a container? I know some soaps they need air to keep them from getting all mucky and gucky, or is there something in particular?
Well, I have
Ooh.
this nice soap dish or
Hmm.
rack. You can just put your
Okay.
soap on there
It's a
and keep
rack.
it dry, and the soap it lasts a long time. Yep.
Okay.
Mm.
I would just set it on something like that where it can air dry.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess looking at you with all of these incredible amount of products that you have, everything from shea butter to bath bombs to your sea salt, uh, it's mind blowing actually the product you have and the variety you have for both men and women. So there's once the soap making is done, then you have all of the labeling and all of that. So tell us about your a typical day and actually when your day begins, when you work during the week and when you actually take time, if it's you and another staff or just you or how you work it because you can't do it day and night. So tell us about that whole how it's all done basically and
Okay.
the labeling and whatever you want to tell us.
Okay. Well, we're Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are production days for us, and then we're open
Hmm.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yeah, that's how pretty much we make all our products on those days, and then we're open to the public on the rest of the week.
But
7
your
days a week
labeling, do you have to
you're
come up?
working.
Yeah, you come up with your
Oh,
labeling just creatively,
oh,
like your names for your
yes,
different. Yeah, that no, that's great.
right.
You answered the question, but
So
just for example, your men's soap, that ocean one, you just kind of go with the smell and think of what would be a cool idea.
yes, that's right. Whatever scent we use, there's what we usually put on the label for people. And we have a company that does our labeling here in town. We use somebody local,
Mm-hmm.
tailors,
Mm-hmm.
tailors. They do these beautiful labels for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the last little bit of our show here, Julie. It's hard to believe how fast it goes, but
I
what do you want
know.
to say before we what do you want to say before we go to break in that last minute about this whole exciting venture that you've leaped into? Is it worth it all? Are you extremely excited and happy?
Oh yes, it's I can't get enough of making soap or anything else. I mean, most mornings we're up at 5 o'clock and we're
Oh,
on the ball. So yes, I mean it's everything I could ever wish for, and I've met so many beautiful people along the river, and right from Miramichi to Caracat, it's been great. And I was actually shocked when we opened because we just met so many people and we were busy straight out.
well, that's perfect timing because Mother's Day is this coming Sunday. For all of you viewers, get down to Bartyville River Soaps. Not hard to miss. Little Red Barn. Julia Travers, you've been a wonderful guest, and we can't
Thank
wait
you.
to try out the product yourself. Thank you for joining us. Don't anybody go too far. We have another guest joining Audrey and I right away. Thank you. Bye, Julia.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to our last segment of Have a Chat. If you're just joining us again, I'm your host, Judy Loge, joined by my lovely co-host, Audrey Lynch, and a gentleman that you may be somewhat familiar with. He's been living around here quite a while, Derek Hutchison. Welcome to our show, Derek.
Well, thanks, Judy, for having me.
And for
Welcome.
those that might be wondering, you're an educator with Anglophone School District North, currently at James M. Hill Memorial High School. And so tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Douglastown. I've been teaching school now for over 25 years. I've been a school principal. I've been a supervisor. I've been a coordinator. And most recently, I'm back in the classroom teaching at James M. Hill and having a great time. We've got wonderful kids, and we have some challenges each day, but the kids are wonderful, and it's a great spot to work, and we've got a lot of good things going on.
Good, good.
Oh, and
Can you
Judy,
tell
one other
us,
thing.
Derek?
One other thing. My mom and her sisters watch your show faithfully, so they're big fans of you and Audrey. So,
Well, hello, ladies.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Hello, definitely. Thanks for watching. So can you tell us, Derek, you being with the education system, how have you been doing personally and like education wise with the overall pandemic situation and the change with the curriculum and the way they do things in the school system?
yeah, we've had challenges, at the start of the year, no doubt, establishing routines and procedures with the kids. The kids are very good about it right now. I think if I look around, in the morning we have our arrows going each way. We have our signage. We have everything in place that way. Now, some of the challenges we had, and for me, this is just because probably part of my age, but I had to learn 100 and some names this year, and when you do that, that's one thing. But when they put a mask on everybody, it makes it a real challenge. So it's a real challenge to try and learn names, especially when you only have the kids every second day. So it was a challenge in itself. The technology was somewhat of a challenge in the sense that everybody came with some form of software to school, and we had in my classes, we had to teach the kids how to use the laptop because they may have just gotten it that morning, and some kids are just only on their phones. They don't touch computers whatsoever, only if they have to.
That's true.
So
That's true.
that was a whole component in itself, trying to have to teach all that. And then I had to turn around and I had to teach them a piece of software called Teams, which I'll be talking about later on. And it's basically a piece of software that you can meet online, and you can teach online. So in the event we had to go home during the pandemic, I was all set up. Now, I spent all summer learning it, and I expected the kids to learn it, and they didn't like it at first, but they got used to it. And now it's just part of every day, part of being in the classroom. So when they send me an assignment on Teams, I'm not lugging home papers anymore, They can take a
Yeah.
picture of it.
Right.
They can play a Microsoft Word document, and I can send the mark right to their phone when they're having their supper, and they get their mark right on the spot. So there's been some nice
Oh.
shifts in that sense.
That's
There
right.
has.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, with some
Right.
of my classes, I used the New Brunswick Virtual Learning Center, which was all new to me. We have courses on there, like my nutrition course. The entire course is online. And so every now and then I pick some pieces out of it and I use it in the classroom just as a resource more than
Yeah.
anything. I started doing some stuff online
Mm-hmm.
with the kids, but I finally get better buy-in in the classroom. They like being in school, and the kids like coming to school. And I think some days they miss that they can't be there every second day or every day. But
Yeah.
and we're hoping for next year, so that's what we're hoping for. But no, it's been going very well. And again, like I say, we have had challenges, but I think everybody in the business world has had them too. So I mean, it's
That's
things are
right.
going well.
That's right. Derek, I follow you on your webpage at James M. Hill High, and I think it's just fascinating and intriguing. And I couldn't wait to get you on the show to talk to our viewers and share with us information about your professional speakers series. I think it's fabulous, and you can just take it away, how it all began for you, this whole concept, and maybe highlight some of those speakers that you've had engaged with your classroom.
Well, I first came up with the idea. I looked after the student interns here in the district years ago. And when I looked after them, we used to meet with UNB, and they had a professional speakers series at lunchtime every second Wednesday or whatever it was. And they brought speakers in, mostly from education faculties in Atlantic Canada and that kind of thing. So I kind of got the idea there. But one morning, I tend when the weather is nice, I tend to get up early in the morning and go for a jog at around 5 a.m. And it just starts my day, and I kind of enjoy it. And that's sometimes when I plan out my day. So there's one morning in October, I'm out for a jog, and I decide, you know what? I'm teaching hospitality and tourism. Everything we go to do is basically closed. And this was in October, and a lot of places had not opened or whatnot, right? So I said, I went to Niagara Falls as a kid, and I thought, you know what? I've always liked it there, so I'm gonna contact someone there just to see if I get them coming to speak and try out this Teams thing and see, just try it. Why not, right? So
Yeah.
I make contact with this lady. Her name was Anastasia. She's from Russia, and she speaks 5 languages. And she said, I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you. So next thing I know, she's presenting to my kids all about Niagara Falls tourism and how they market and how they bring in corporate retreats of 7,000 people to Niagara Falls from China. And so they tap into that Asian. It's huge. It's huge. And not only that, she speaks 5 different languages. So she's bringing in people all the time. I'll share a story with it that I did with my kids. The day before she presented, or the day after, I get this message on my phone. She had taken a client from South Korea, and he was Skyping or Zooming back to his clients in Korea. And here they are flying over Niagara Falls in a chopper, and she's shooting the video, and the kids are seeing this, and it's just like, wow. Like a lot of them have never seen Niagara Falls before, so it's like, those kinds of things. So after I had her in, her friend, believe it or not, works at Banff in Alberta. And she said, I can get him in touch. I said, yeah, but I said, he'll have to get up like early in the morning because of the time differential. Oh, she said, no, he's home in Ottawa. His wife's having a baby. Okay. And he speaks like 4 or 5 languages. And he told us stuff about marketing that you'd never get out of a textbook. Like in Australia, for example, they specifically, Banff targets Australia. So when somebody comes in with an IP address, and I don't know all the logistics, a message then goes to their Google or to their Facebook or whatnot, targeting people in Australia. So they do that. One of the other ones we had in too that was really good was the director of tourism for New York City. He was phenomenal, and he gave them he even gave them travel tips. So if you're in New York City and you want to go past the Statue of Liberty, you can pay a lot of money, or you can take the Staten Island ferry for free. The mall in Washington, the lady that worked for, I got the Statue of Liberty to come in, and when the lady was with them, she says, "Oh, I know the person that runs the mall in Washington, which is all the national monuments." So she came in. It was just like it was great. So then I think the biggest one I had in though was for my first semester was we had in the CN Tower. And they were phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And the lady who had worked at the CN Tower, who did the presentation, used to work for the newspaper in Moncton. So it's a small world in that sense. So fast forward, second semester, I'm teaching a nutrition course, nutrition and healthy living. And so I start doing what I'm doing, and I spend a lot of time at night doing this, sending emails and stuff. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
I don't get any response back. I'll be honest. I don't get any. I could send 15
Mm-hmm.
emails, not get one back.
Yeah.
And so I started this. I emailed the Toronto Blue Jays and I said, could you send someone to talk to my nutrition class about, anyway, and I talked to their head guy and he actually got back to me. And then the next thing I know, I get talking with, they send me 3 nutritionists from their minor league system.
Cool.
And one of them, we get talking and he says, I said, would you know anybody, he sends me an entire document like this thick with everybody's name. There's no email. So then I had to play detective and try and find these people, but it worked out very well. Because I ended up getting the University of Alabama nutritionist came in. He, you ladies probably don't follow football, but last week 6 of their kids were drafted in the first round, so they know something about nutrition. So he came in.
I didn't know.
And so just little tips he dropped out. He said if you're banged up and you're fighting through an injury, red berries or red fruits, whatever is in them, it helps speed up the healing process. And I didn't know that. I'm learning a lot in dealing with this. We had the Ironman. We had the Ironman Institute in from Houston, Texas. The Ironman race where you run you run a marathon in the end, and you start out swimming. I think it's 4 miles, and then you bike. Crazy. In Southern Florida University specializes in. They have an exercise science lab, and so all they do is physical performance testing in this lab. And they talked to us about dieting. They said you should lose 1% of your body weight per week, a slow loss. These fad diets are just that. We've had
interesting.
And now tomorrow, for example, I have Boston University coming in, and they're going to talk about CTE, which is brain damage that occurs in contact sports. And they have what they call a brain. They have a brain bank in Boston, and they study it. So they're coming in tomorrow. And they're going to show us all this different things. We had a lady in last week from McGill who who talked specifically about concussions. And I actually, some of my kids saw it this morning because what I do is I record these and then I have them. So if they're not in school, we go on Teams and it's there and they can watch at their leisure. Or they can do the assignment at home if they're not here. Right. And it works slick as a bell. Now it's taken me a while to get to that. Right. But it's working really well. And we had in, who else did we have in? Oh my, I had the trainer from the New Jersey Devils nutritionist. He came in. And actually
sorry, Derek. We're just saying how much you want to be back in school again. We're interrupting you to say how much we want to be a student again.
Yeah, no, it's and one of the really good presenters I had in, one of the really good ones just a couple weeks ago. His name was he was with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he kind of started out working on his own in private practice. And long story short, he started training this girl who had an injury, and he just trained her and got her ready for her surgery, and so that her recovery process would be faster. Anyway, long story short, the father comes to him and says, "You didn't charge my daughter 5 cents extra for all the work you did." He goes, "You're a good person, that kind of thing. I'm going to give you and he just sold some business for $5 billion. He said, I'm going to bring you to Buffalo or somewhere, and you're going to start your own fitness center for me working." And he got really good results. Anyway, here's the long story about it. So this guy comes into our class. He presents. He tells us all about Sidney Crosby. The boys are just fired up. They can't believe it. And he's telling us all this stuff. And he's showing us the equipment they use. They use non-motorized treadmills to run on. They don't use the motorized ones at all. What else do they do? He told us about just even little things. Like I said, what do you feed them so they must get tired of the food in your cafeteria. He said periodically, he said, we'll go out and get Subway. They call it food fatigue. When you get tired, maybe that happens in your houses. When people get tired of the food you're making, it's called food fatigue.
Yeah. Okay.
So something I've learned. And the Blue Jays actually told us that when they have food fatigue, what they do is they order a Chick-fil-A, which is kind of like a healthy chicken version, right? So there's just little things like that they've been teaching us. Anyway, getting back to Jason, the guy with Pittsburgh. So I said to him when he's finishing up the presentation, I said, "Is there any chance you could maybe send us a workout plan or whatnot?" I said, because we have in our mezzanine, we have a bunch of, it's kind of like a mini CrossFit in a sense, the ropes and the tires and all that. And I said, could you design a workout plan for me? He said, I'd love to. He said, I'll tell you what, go down at lunchtime. And he said, take pictures of everything you have there and send it back to me. And he said, and within an hour, I had a full workout plan with 3 different stations from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we're going to start, the boys and girls are going to start using it next week. So, I mean, that in itself is quite powerful, you know.
Fascinating.
It's
Yeah,
all
it is.
powerful.
But it's just, it's so like the world is such a small place. And I think with COVID, I think people they have the time maybe to present. And now I've had, I have a grade 9 social studies class, and locally I had Lisa Harris in, the MLA, and I had George Knish came in, and who else did we have? I have Mayor Lorden coming in, and Mr. Finnegan's coming in. So we're covering all different components of government. So, so that, and I can't do it in all my classes, but it's yeah, and the kids like it, I think, and you know, it makes it a little more engaging. That's all.
Of course, it's fantastic. What do you think, Audrey? I think we're ready to wrap up pretty soon, but what's your final question before we go to our end of our show for Derek?
I think many other teachers within James M. Hill are probably going to want to steal this idea from him and start adding it to their classrooms as well, is what I think is going to happen. But what do you think, Derek, is the impact of this particular program on the students themselves? What are you seeing from them?
In 1 minute.
It's huge. It's huge. The province of New Brunswick I'll just use it as an example. The province of New Brunswick hires influencers to come here and do tourist shoots, and kids could be doing that on their own. You could go to Cuba, and they'll pay you, and you make up a YouTube channel, and you sit down with government. And this was one of the things we did this year in my course, and the kids got to go look at real influencers that come to New Brunswick and work with government. So there's job potential there. It's been an eye opener. It's my gimmick, and it works for me. It may not work for somebody else, but it works for me, and I like it, and we're going to keep doing it. So
I can tell you like it. We love it. The viewers are they've learned more just listening to you in the last few minutes than they have, by reading the newspapers or turning on the news, which is doom and gloom. You've been fascinating. The students are very fortunate to have you. And I can tell your enthusiasm is very contagious. And it's a mind-opening experience for all of us here at Have a Chat that have been tuned into you, Derek. Keep up the great work. We're so glad that you could join us. And we wish to have nothing but success for you and your students in the future. Bye-bye, everybody.